Weapons and jewelry are very important in Vermintide as your overall strength and power level is centered around them. However, power level in general is not really explained in the game, and it can be confusing when looking at the wiki and other sources that explain the purpose of these levels. Today, we'll be looking at these specific numbers and going over the purpose they serve, as well as answering some popular questions in the community, such as when should you open your chests? But before looking at items, we must understand the number that they affect first: hero power. Hero power serves as a passive way to boost your combat effectiveness, as each time you level a character, your hero power with them increases slightly. Hero power passively increases the amount of damage your attacks do, the strength of stagger your attacks have, and the number of enemies you cleave through with your attacks. Since this is a passive increase, having a higher hero power is very important and is required for higher difficulties. Speaking of higher difficulties, all difficulties excluding Cataclysm are locked behind specific hero power levels. The only requirement to unlock these difficulties is to get one character to this power level, and once you get one character to these levels, you unlock that difficulty for all of your characters no matter their power level. You could, in theory, unlock higher difficulties by only playing a single character and then jump into these difficulties with your underleveled or unleveled characters, but I would recommend against this for newer players, as having the hero power requirement for these difficulties truly does make a difference and makes these difficulties much easier overall. Now that we understand what role hero power plays, we can begin to discuss items and their role in the game as a whole. Every item in the game is assigned an item power level between 5 and 300, with power level 5 being reserved for the blacksmith version used to craft. The power level that each item has will differ each time you open chests or craft one, but the power level pull that it pulls from is not random. You will always receive items with power levels based upon the item with the highest power level in your inventory across all characters, up to 10 over that item or 5 less than that item. If your highest leveled item is a necklace with an item power level of 200, then the range of items you will unbox or craft will be between 195 and 210 power. And if you then receive a sword with a power level of 205, the next items will then have a range between 200 and 215. Something else to note is that while Recruit Strongboxes have a power cap at 100, all other rewards from all other difficulties are capped at 300, meaning it is possible to reach the highest item power level playing on any difficulty other than Recruit. You can also receive various rarities of items, which are most commonly referred to by their color rather than their actual names. The rarities you can get is determined by the kind of chest you open, shown by this chart. The higher the rarity, the more properties you can have on your item and the eventual chance to gain a trait. Red items are special, as they will always have the maximum roll of the properties on them no matter what. Now, let's go over 2 common questions people have regarding items and finally give an answer to them. First is, should I open chests now or save them for when I'm a higher level? The best option is to open all of your chests when you get them. The more chests you get and open, the more chances you have of getting a more powerful item, which in turn raises the minimum power level you can get from your next chest, making each chest better than the last. But that is to say there is nothing wrong with saving a small handful of chests to open on a character you haven't really played to help you get a head start on them. And lastly, should I use items with a higher item power or with better rolls? It is best to use items with a higher item power, as item power directly increases your hero power, and an increase in passive combat effectiveness is always ideal in the long run. However, there is nothing wrong with choosing to keep an item with better rolls if the increase in item power is minute. A guideline that I always followed was to switch out a lower level item with better rolls for a higher level item with worse rolls if the item power difference between the two was at least 20. And in my opinion, this is still a good guideline to follow today. Hopefully this knowledge clears up some confusion and allows you to go rat slaying with more confidence. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe for more Vermintide content in the future. See y'all next time.